Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome to the 2018 Founders Cup here in beautiful Akwesasne, Quebec on JVI Sports Network. I'm Stephen Stamp, joined by Pat Gregoire. Almost said Tanner Fetch because I've been doing games with Fetchy all week. But no, it is Pat Gregoire and myself with the JVI crew. That is the Seneca War Chiefs that you can see on your left, the FNLA champions. They'll be going left to right, wearing their black with the purple shoulder caps, and streaming onto the floor from British Columbia, the Coquitlam Adanacs, wearing their white with the blue stripe in the middle and the yellow numbers. Pretty sharp uniforms in this game.
Yeah, you know what? For the most part, I think all the jerseys have been pretty nice in this tournament. Some new faces that we've seen in the tournament as well, or some faces that we haven't seen in a while. The Shamrocks, first time in a long time. First time for North Shore, but these two teams are very, very similar to familiar to the tournament. 5th consecutive appearance for the War Chiefs, 4th for Coquitlam. So,
and our player to watch for the Seneca War Chiefs is Clay Scanlon, who is from Gowanda, New York, and you see didn't play a lot of games this year, didn't put up a lot of points, but he is part of that very talented Scanlon family.
Yes.
The Scanlons largely heading out to Coquitlam, actually, to play with the Junior A club. Chase Scanlon, his brother, played for the Iroquois Nationals at the World Field Lacrosse Championships. At the other side, we have Trevor Funk, briefly, there he is, who was 8th in the league in Tier 1 Junior B scoring. That's a whole new system for British Columbia, that Junior B Tier 1. They've done away with the intermediate, so everyone goes into junior at 17, much like other provinces. And he came over from the
Maple Ridge Burrards.
There you go.
So 2 players.
I was just checking with you. I was just testing to make sure.
So Trevor Funk and Alex Nimmo both coming in. Nimmo from New Westminster, Funk from there. Besides that, pretty much this core group from the Adanacs for the whole season long.
Fayez Bardai, the coach for Coquitlam. I had a lot of interesting conversations with him last year, along with the coach of the Seneca War Chiefs, Darius Kilgore. Darius Kilgore, one of the great lacrosse minds in the game. He was for a long time the leading coach in coaching wins in the National Lacrosse League. He was passed by Derek Keenan, but he is still one of the very best. There's a shot from the outside, hard rip by Clay Scanlon, and the Seneca War Chiefs will get it back. And if you're an NLL general manager and you're thinking, I don't have a coach, I think everyone has coaches at this point, but if you're, say, an expansion team, here's a chance, and you're thinking, I would like a coach who knows what he's doing. There's a hard shot that's blocked. Call Darius Kilgore.
Yeah, I think he's got to be on a short list for sure for some teams.
He is an absolutely fantastic coach and great mind. He's done such a good job with the Seneca team. Coquitlam quickly getting a man off the bench, and that is Jeremy Basic. Takes the ball, and they'll set up a hard, long shot from the outside, ripped by Brian Smith.
Coquitlam weathering the storm. A lot of chances there for the Seneca team. I think you can safely assume that this War Chiefs team's hungry to take the next step. We've seen them a couple bronzes in a row. They've had a few silver finishes as well, and haven't been able to get over the hump and come out with a gold.
A couple of years ago in Orangeville, they had Connor Fields, who just lit up this tournament, led that tournament in scoring 2 years ago in 2016. Here's a drive to the middle. Adanacs all around, absolutely surrounding.
Possession call, though. Going to go the other way.
I was trying to see who that was with the ball. I think it was that Clay Scanlon again? No, it's 33, and I'm trying to see who 33. Oh, it's Ron John. Ron John, who played. There's a low shot. Ron John played defense for in Israel at the World Field Lacrosse Championships and was an absolute breakout star at that tournament. Big whack with the wooden stick there on the far side. That was Brett Logan laying the lumber on. Coquitlam looking for a shot over the middle on the run. That one's going to go wide. And with the shot clock winding down, they're going to make some changes, get a couple of defenders out, leave a forward up. Brian Smith's going to try and get a shot on. It goes a little bit wide, and the ball will bounce out. And we snagged there by Peter Masters.
First couple of games in the starting phases of both those games, you kind of saw teams feel each other out. That's certainly not the case here. Both teams have really come out flying on the defense and the offensive side.
There's Clay Scanlon, nice toe drag, steps back, didn't have a lane. Man, wide open on the front, off the post. Beautiful opportunity there. But Cody Bielek just wasn't able to find his spot. These War Chiefs graduated a lot of players from last year's team, the club that did come third in Saskatoon last summer.
Jonah Mohawk, probably the most notable of that group. He was unbelievable in that tournament.
Love how he played at both ends of the floor. I mean, he'd go out and do some defensive shifts. He'd come up in transition, just stay up, played on the power play, was often out on the penalty kill. I mean, he had himself quite a tournament.
I think these players recognize now that the way the game is going, the more versatile you are, you know, if you're able to play offense, defense, transition, you know, only the further you're going to go in your game.
Smith spins off his defender, tries to get a pass across. That one's going to bounce high and up out of play, and Seneca will take possession. These teams met on day 2 of the tournament last year. Seneca taking a 7-3 win on that one. So many of the teams after, I mean, we mentioned Ontario. This tournament's been going since 1964. Ontario has won all but 6 of the tournaments. Alberta has taken, I think, 4, and there's a chance right on top. That one just bounces a little bit wide as well. Good effort, but Cody Bielik getting in place, but can't quite finish. But, you know, Alberta and BC taking the other ones, but Ontario clearly the favorites. Once again, the Allure Mohawks will be favored. Teams will push them. But these middle group teams, the Albertas and BCs and Senecas, well, First Nations Lacrosse Association, it has been Seneca for the last 5 years, really have some great battles. There's a chance right on top of the crease, and stepping in the crease after the shot was Sherman Williams. And Sherman Williams has come back. He's been playing Senior B the last few years with his brothers Zed and Zach. And he won a shot at a Founders, so he's come and joined the Seneca War Chiefs this year. The last year junior player, that pass doesn't connect. The ball will be grabbed by Trevor Funk. Again, Funk coming from Maple Ridge to join this Coquitlam club. Nice late pick there by Daniel Miller to help open him up, and the ball is picked off by our starting goaltender, Troy Benedict. We're in number 98. And Seneca comes into the offensive zone. There's a chance right on top of the crease, and that was Andrew Forte. And their rebound pops out, and there's a hard shot, and they get it back. They get a couple of extra chances, and eventually they cash in.
And this is just a couple of thick rebounds here that pop out. We'll see. First chance come here. That's actually a missed net, but good on Scanlon. Picks up the rebound, takes a great shot, goes off the chest, and a great heads-up play there. Not only to grab the rebound, but also to have the awareness to keep your feet out of the crease.
Yeah, Ron John. He is a dynamic young athlete, just 19 years of age. Might have turned 20. He was a breakout player, like I said, at the Worlds, Field Worlds in Netanya, Israel. Part of a young core of Iroquois defenders. There's a shot. That's in. No, they say no. That looked to me like it's across the line. We'll have to take another peek.
Wow. I thought that was in as well.
But the goaltender gets just enough of it. That is Roman Rose starting between the pipes. Or is it Gordon Bowden?
Can't quite see the side of the jersey there, but.
That is Gordon Bowden. I like the yellow numbers on the back of the jersey against the blue stripe. Not as keen on them. And we've got Cam Anderson from BC and Chris Tallchief from the First Nations Lacrosse Association, our referees. And in the box is Wes Kendall from Alberta. And we may be about to let one of them know that we don't agree with this call. We'll see. We'll see. I thought from here.
I agree with that old school CCM bucket, though. That is
old school CCM is a beauty.
I love it. Absolutely.
You know, when they were told you got to wear helmets, he said, I have one of those I can pull out.
Grabbed it from the basement, dusted it off, and tossed it on the head.
Seneca going short-handed here after taking the penalty. And there's Smith at the top. Hard shot from the outside by Matthew Smiggle.
I was watching Seneca in warm-ups when they were practicing their man-up, man-down.
Oh.
They love to throw that diamond, and you know they'll press out. So
rotate around.
Look to see them be aggressive on that penalty kill. Just because they're a man down doesn't mean that they aren't afraid to jump out.
acting all American, sounding all American for our American listeners.
Yes, there you go.
Man up, man down. I've been fighting that battle for a while.
And once I start calling it EMO, then you know there's an issue.
I don't even know what that means. Oh, extra man.
Opportunity.
Opportunity, really? That's a bit much. Wow, what performance there. Great job holding on to that ball by Andrew Forte. And he's going to give it away and get a bit of a break as he hands it off. I'm just checking to see who 63 is. Sorry, we don't have him on our roster. We'll check at the intermission. You're going to be downstairs for an interview, Pat Gregoire.
Yes.
You can go and check, as you will be speaking with a player from the Adanacs in the first intermission, I believe. No,
Other way
Seneca.
around. Other way around.
Yeah, Seneca first. They are the visiting team. They're on the near bench. I feel right at home with this benches on the opposite sides. Being from Peterborough, that's the way it is at the Memorial Center. And there we have a penalty coming to Coquitlam, which is going to even things up. Actually, Seneca can kill the rest of this. We've seen this before, but they could have done it even if the shot clock ran. Yeah. But they will kill the final 15 seconds of this penalty, and then they will go to the man advantage. They actually are 5-on-5 now with the goalie on the bench. The shot clock starts running, which it does when a player comes inside the restraining line. That shot will stop play, and it's going to be an illegal cross-check is the call.
How about the feed, though, from Sherman Williams, a little BTB, and Anson
He is Gardner. A talented player.
Oh, yeah. Certainly is. Anson Gardner, big body, got to the inside, just couldn't quite finish. But
Sherman Williams, a pretty big body himself.
Yeah.
Those solid athletic players, those Williams brothers. I mean, Zed, the 4th overall pick by the Georgia Swarm. Here is the goal that wasn't called. You're going to see it gets some of the goalie's jersey right there. Is that not in? It looked to me like we could see behind the goal line a bit of green. Now, the thing is, the ref is in perfect position down there, and the entire ball has to be passed the line. So I guess in theory, we could see that tiny bit sliver of green. That pass is knocked down between the ball and the goal line, but the rest of the sphere could still be over part of the line. So I'm going to give it to our referee that he got it right, because I'm not 100% sure on the replay. And, of course, as we always like to point out, you know, if we can watch it 4 or 5 times and be fairly sure of what we saw, and he's having to make that and still not be 100% certain, and he's having to make that call in real time with no replays and maybe players in the way. Nice little toe drag, the big hit, great pass to move that ball out. Basically saying the referees do a great job. And if we do question anything, it's partly because it was Chris Tallchief was that referee making that call from the FNLA.
A little confusion.
Looked like a bit of a breakaway, but ball play has been blown down.
.45 seconds left in the kill. Both teams have done a pretty good job while they have ragged the ball.
Daniel Miller was cutting to the middle, wanted Smiggle to get him the ball, but probably a wise decision not to make that pass. 25 seconds remaining on the penalty. And I'll tell you, this is good work actually by both teams on the penalty kill. Oh, and there's a penalty coming. So Coquitlam wants to actually get this pass so they can get back to 4-on-4. The play is blown down. And the Seneca slash will lead to a 4-on-4 for 13 seconds, and then the Adanacs will go to the power play. But this
Seneca slash, that sounds like a good team name.
It does. It trips off the tongue.
Yeah.
Here is the call. Coming up right there. No, that's not the one actually. Oh, yeah, it was. Okay, hands up already. You know what? When it happened, I was like, yeah, that's a slash. And I watched the replay. I'm like, I don't know.
There it is. Once again, the benefit we have
with
replay.
The replay makes it so much easier. So we are not trying to be big second guessers.
No.
Just saying what we see. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. Pleased to be bringing you this 2018 Founders Cup action on JVI Sports Network. Subscribe to JVI Sports Network on YouTube. Everything is there. All the games are archived. So Kelly Waterhouse from Elora saying that she's going to be working, can't see her team play live tonight. You can watch the archive. Shot from the outside by Smith. Goes off the back boards, and Benedict had to be alert that it didn't bounce off his foot and back in. 8:30 will be the final game tonight if you're watching this one. All the other days of the round robin, it will be, and the first day of playoffs will be at 8 o'clock wrapping up, but with the opening ceremonies at 7:30, we'll go a little bit later tonight. Darius, what's Darius's last name? We forget Darius's last name, but Darius, who will do the local fellow, he's going to be doing some play-by-play for the Mohawk Medicine Men games, and he also runs DT's Up in Smoke Barbecue with Garden Greens Organics. We're looking forward to getting out to the truck out in front of the building. There's a shot from the outside by Smiggle, and they say it is a touch. I wasn't sure if it touched somebody on the War Chiefs. It did, so the Adanacs get it back. It was Evan Printup that took the slashing call. The captain of the War Chiefs is off in the box. Or is he an alternate? I believe he's the captain, is he not, Evan Printup?
Yes. No, he's an alternate.
Alternate, okay. You've got them all written down. I didn't write them all down.
Alternate.
Sherman Williams, number 7, is the captain, of course. Ryan Kidd, the other alternate for them. We'll get to the Coquitlam leadership group in a bit. We blow play back in, less than 30 to go on this power play for Coquitlam. They're hoping to get on the board. We're past the midway point of this first period. 1-0, a very low scoring game. And honestly, the defense is probably more to do with than the goalies. Goalies doing their bit, but I think the defense is really limiting the shots. So then, just as I say it, a laser from the outside by Eric Forselius. And a power play goal ties things up at 1.
We'll see it. Most of the passing here is perimeter. You see the one skip, that finally gets that active box moving, and it's just a dip back pass once again, back and forth, and then there it is once again, a skip pass that gets the box moving, and it's a great shot. Changing planes, overhand, switching it down to low.
Kids, if you're working on your shot, shoot overhand. Forget the underhands. They're okay to mix in once in a while, but you're already hearing this from your coaches. If you play, put the underhands away for the special opportunities when they arise. Other than that, go overhand. Watch Cody Jamieson and watch how he can put that ball in any corner, any spot of the net from that dead overhand with subtle twister action with the wrist. Nice job by Clay Scanlon to catch that one. It is. Change the planes, change the angle of release. Scanlon, bouncer far side. That's going to get away to the far right. Had to try one as the shot clock was about to expire. Andrew Forte will hustle back and make sure that there's no transition opportunity for Anthony Buono. Buono, part of the BC team last year, recognized a number of these Coquitlam players. And a chance stopped there by Benedict. You can see the little crow hop tons behind that shot as it was absolutely ripped.
Nice loose ball behind the net from Gutch Salinas. A Trent Excalibur.
Trent Mitty. Actually, is he playing LSM or no? He's playing pole, isn't he?
Yep, played pole, a little bit of LSM too.
Didn't get a lot of time on the field as a rookie. There's a shot and a goal from the outside. Beautiful spotting by Ron John. Boy, this kid can play.
Yeah, you talked about his versatility. Unbelievable breakout star, and might be having a breakout tournament here as well. You see, not the hardest of shots, just a nice throwback. He'll get the ball back here. Nice flip pass from Jimmy Chadwick. That's just a perfectly placed ball. You ask any goaltender, what's the hardest save to make? Right at the hips.
Yeah. Hope everyone's enjoying this JVI Sports Network coverage of the 2018 Founders Cup from here in Akwesasne. Again, final game today will be at 8:30. We've got 4 games a day coming at you for 3 straight days.
Yep.
And then we go to the playoffs. And the important thing for these teams to remember is, especially, as they're battling for these early games, they have a lot to say about what happens because there are 2 pools of 4, and the first and second place teams will cross over from the divisions when we get to playoffs. Here's a chance for Brian Smith. He goes low, misses the net. It's going to bounce back over center, and the shot clock will expire. We've got a little under 7 to go. But the first and second teams will cross over for a chance to go to the gold medal game. The losers of those will go to the bronze medal game. If you come third or fourth in your group, the highest you can come is fifth. So you could be a third place team by goal differential in some very close games and wind up going for fifth instead of first. That's how close it is among a lot of these teams. There's a chance in the middle, but it's tipped away. Nice tip there by Josh Goebel. But the ball gets loose, so that's going to be a back in or not. And it's a goal. Back in would have been a step up for that, but the ball rolled straight out to Sherman Williams, and he rips that one home through the legs of Bowden.
Yeah, see right here, just a hard-fought loose ball battle. Like you said, kind of a little bit of a broken play. Do you go back in? Instead, choosing to keep that away now keeps the play alive, and Williams just picks up that loose ball. And
I thought it did go back in, frankly, but I think, but they're playing advantage there, continuation.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't blow that down when the team that's not causing the offense or the infraction has a chance to get the ball. I love that effort right there from Andrew Forte to just back his way. He lost his stick. As he's reaching for it, he's backing his body in front of the defender. It's great awareness of where the Coquitlam defender was coming after him so that he could keep position and drew the loose ball push while he was getting his stick. If the push hadn't come, he would have had a chance to pick that ball up. So those little things, I'll tell you, they come for one thing from being coached by someone like Darius Kilgore.
Yes. Andrew Forte also played for the Medicine Men last year for Mohawk in their inaugural season. Last year was their first year in the FNLA. So now he gets picked up by this Seneca team. And
Mohawk Medicine Men playing host to this Founders Cup. It was a shame that Seneca wasn't able to do it. Some issues with getting refs across the border. Real shame, because they'd already put a ton of work in. There's a pass to the back door. Basic is going to spin and get a shot. That goes wide. Actually hits the referee and will be scooped up there by Brett Logan. Logan's going to move it ahead, but I've been working with some of the Seneca folks. Heath Garlow, one of their assistant coaches, will be here in a couple of days. He's just gotten back from Poland. Adrian Stevens doing a lot of the organizing. They had put a lot of time and effort and money into making it happen, and it just wasn't able to happen because of border issues. But I was really looking forward to having the tournament down there. They were modeling it on the Onondaga World Championships from 2015, and there would have been a lot of cultural stuff. But kudos to the Mohawk Medicine Men and their organization, Garawati Mitchell in particular, who stepped up in 6 weeks and put this event on, and it's going pretty well so far. Here's a chance for Coquitlam as they are zipping the ball around. Great defensive adjustments by Seneca as they respond to everything Coquitlam's trying to do. It is 3-1 for the War Chiefs. They've got 7 seconds to shoot. Smigel, oh sorry, that was Alec Nimmo getting the shot, but it goes wide. Good Salinas caught it, but it bounces free and is scooped up there by Eric Forselius. That pass a little bit high, but nicely scooped off the boards there by Daniel Miller. There's a shot, hard one, dead overhand, and just goes ricocheting off. Was that off of Benedict?
No, I believe it was one of the defenders in front of the net.
I thought so. It was Benedict who was adjusting his gear, but I thought it may have been Gutch Salinas that stopped that one. I got to check with Gutch. I'm trying to remember whether it is Salinas or Salinas. Really enjoyed watching him play last year. He would take the ball in his own end and rumble up the floor, and just he would go through people, around people, showed some nice touch, finishing a couple of those runs. But shout out to Matthew Carrick, our director, who pointed out Salinas. I mean, I should know better. I've seen the kid around town in Peterborough, and he's actually right. It is Salinas now that I think about it. Oh my goodness. We'll get to, nice pickoff and just avoiding stepping back in the crease on the run. Great job by the Seneca War Chiefs to get a defender out and take away that chance for Brady Georgette.
Some quick wheels on Georgette. Wow.
But Matt Carrick, remembering from 2 years ago that they'd mentioned Ganadio Gutch Salinas. There's a shot by Smigel that rolls down the shoulder of Benedict just off to the side. Long outlet pass. Here's an opportunity, but it's 1-on-3. Still goes to the net. Oh, reverse whip. Great play That is just a gorgeous piece of lacrosse by Jimmy Chadwick, whose very proud father is here in the crowd. And we're going to get to that. Talk about the goal first and then tell us about the connection here.
Unbelievable goal from Jimmy Chadwick, the pride of Amherst, New York. You'll see this. Beautiful outlet pass, goes up to Chadwick, walks on in, bowls through and just throws that backhand twister. Unbelievable. We've seen a couple of good goals there.
That's the hard twister.
That is a hard,
completely overlap.
Hard twister. But Butch Chadwick, his father, coached me in my first year at Medaille College in Buffalo. It was great to see him. I haven't seen him in a few years. I think the last time was at one of our alumni events, so it was great to see him. And I was glad to see that Jimmy.
Here's a chance for Smiggle, the quick shot. And the save, but yeah.
I was going to say Jimmy played a few
Butch
years.
The father, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, and Butch came over and
yep.
was very pleased to see you, and he couldn't believe it. He's like, I coach you, and now you're
yep.
calling games that my son is in?
Yeah.
And, I mean, you've been coaching for a while, too, with the West Durham Ironheads.
Yep, yeah. And so Jimmy played with, I believe, Burlington and Hamilton in the OJBLL. Okay. And then a couple of his buddies.
Hard pass on the shot fake. Really nicely sold there by Forselius. But the save is made again by Benedict. It's 4-1. We're getting down to the last couple of minutes. And Butch was really digging your outfit, which you're all going to get a chance to see because Pat Gregoire will be down on the floor in the intermission, having an interview first period with the Seneca War Chiefs. Oh, nice pass to the middle. A hard twister again, but this time it is stopped. You don't have to go yet, do you? Stick around. You got a minute 40. Here's a chance. I was just pointing when you go down, find out those two numbers. We are trying to get, as with any event that is put together in 6 weeks, we, things kind of coming together gradually. But great job by this event, this committee. And there's a chance for Scanlon. Oh, what a move.
Oh.
And he is stopped. Great hustle back by Brady Georgette. But, man, the moves on Clay Scanlon, those quick feet are what make him so much fun to watch. Shot clock expires and Coquitlam will take possession as we near the final minute of this first period.
If you're from Coquitlam or if you're, a fan of this Seneca War Chiefs team, you are familiar with the Scanlons.
Yes, 100%.
And it's moves like that you recognize.
They went 6 attackers, and then as the play got rolling, they actually moved it over to the left and had one of the righties zip off the floor to just try and move the defense around. Yep. They do have the goaltender Bowden back on the floor. Okay, I'll let you go now. I just didn't want to be lonely. But Patrick Gregoire going. Patrick. I've never called you Patrick before. Patty Gregoire heading down to the floor. Here's a chance on the run. We didn't know if there was a good chance for Chadwick earlier, but it turned into a goal. Here's another one. Flip pass. Oh, and a beauty, but just skips out of the stick. Cody Bielek is going to want that one back. He was all alone on top of the crease. Beautiful pass there on the breakout. That was Cameron Carpenter setting that one up. Great vision and nice hands to just toss it up. A nice little lob to make it available, but just didn't quite connect. 8 seconds to go, and that's going to do it for the first period as the ball will roll down the floor unless Carpenter can get there and get the ball. Good hustle by Daniel Miller to make sure the Seneca War Chiefs did not have an opportunity to shoot at that empty net. So through 20 minutes of play, the score is 4-1 for the Seneca War Chiefs. I'm Steven Stamp. Pat Gregoire is on his way down to grab his man. He's on the floor already, and he has already got Clay Scanlon. And they're going to have a chat. And we are good to go.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen. Join alongside Clay Scanlon. And yes, if you're from Coquitlam or Seneca, you've probably recognized the names. Your brothers, both familiar with these two organizations. As a player, what have you learned from your two older brothers?
Just keep the ball moving. It's not all about you. It's a team thing.
Now you talk about the team effort. The offense seems to be clicking, but the defense and goaltending playing very strong right now. How have you seen this defense come together so far this year?
We started off as not a strong team. We weren't the strongest or the best, but as we went along, we started progressing. We started getting better. Everything started clicking. We started to play like a team.
You know, 2 bronze medal finishes, 2 silvers the year before that. Do you guys use that motivation to maybe get over the hump and finally bring home a gold medal?
For sure.
All right, I'll let you get to it, and we'll send it back up to you, Steven Stamp.
All right, thanks, Patty. Great job. Nice to hear from Clay Scanlon. And we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 11 minutes with more 2018 Founders Cup action on JVI Sports Network. Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the 2018 Founders Cup here in Akwesasne. We're going to watch a couple of replays from that first period. And you see, that's just a snipe from the stick of Ron John. I hope we have the Jimmy Chadwick goal.
Oh, I really hope so, too. See this one here, like you said, could have been a back in, and at this point of your Coquitlam, you wish it was.
Yeah, Sherman Williams bangs it home. Here it is. And I watch this. Just watch.
Unbelievable. Don't even need any commentary to it. Oh,
that's sick.
Disgusting twister from Jimmy Chadwick.
And you're talking about Butch Chadwick, and he came over.
Yeah.
And he was pretty stoked.
Yeah. Yeah, he came over, and I said, there's no way you taught him that. I've seen your hands before. And just want to give out to big shout out to Chaz Balera. He's watching at home. One of my head coaches when Butch was there. He recruited me to Madai, and he was giving me a little bit of a hard time for not giving him a shout out. So there you go, Chaz. Both those guys, like I said.
And everybody on Vancouver Island watching the game. Rest of BC, obviously the Coquitlam area watching. I think we got some folks on the island watching. I lived on Vancouver Island for quite a while. I talked earlier about how I lived on the north shore of Vancouver in North Vancouver. But Victoria went out for rowing, went for Olympic trials, and just stayed. Back in Ontario now. Now we are in Quebec, in Akwesasne for the Founders Cup. And just to point out to everyone, I'm not sure why I thought it was a blue stripe on the Coquitlam Adanacs jerseys. It's a purple stripe, of course. Thank you for the notice of that. But I don't know where. I don't know where I would have got the idea. I mean, they're Coquitlam Adanacs. Of course, it's purple.
Yes.
But either way, they look gorgeous.
Yeah, they're. Like we said, I think all the teams we've seen so far all have pretty nice threads. Yeah,
love these Seneca jerseys, the black and the purple with the intricate work on the shoulder caps. Jerseys are just getting better and better these days. You look at the Seneca jerseys with the shoulder caps and the side stripes. There's some real work. I don't know if we ever get a chance to be close enough for you to see it. The pass out front doesn't quite connect. Chance for Sherman Williams. It skips off his stick. Coquitlam will go back the other way. And BC still trying to work out their travel kinks, I think, but they're only down by 3, and you know they're going to get better and better as we go on here. Here's Smith up at the top. Hands it off down into the corner, and they will cycle up. A little bit of a pick, and Daniel Miller skips it ahead. Shot on the run, foot save by Benedict, who just booted that one off into the corner. It is snagged there, and we'll go the other way.
Talk about all the offensive weapons on this Seneca team, but boy, their defense looks very strong to start, making Troy Benedict's life pretty easy, giving him the shots that he probably wants to see.
He is handling just one goal given up, and there's a chance, but the save low by Bowden. Backpedaling is Matthew Froese. He's going to roll it across. And Carter Clark moves it ahead. Smith, a towering lefty forward, is going to get a pick. Funk with a pretty solid hip check of a pick there. And they skip pass, near side shot. Nice attempt there by Forselius, who's wearing 19. So we're going to have to check out who actually is 18. Did we make a mistake when we were writing those out? We've been calling number 18 Forselius. That is Eric Forselius, number 19 with that last shot.
Oh, looks like a player's down. Still not blown down. Now they do. I believe that's Brett Logan. Looks like he's in a considerable amount of pain.
Yeah, he's definitely not looking. He tried to get up and he's back down on the floor. That's never a good sign. And one moment, just one of the assistant coaches for BC was getting on the refs because that play was blown down while they thought they still had a chance there on the shot. We'll see if we can see what happens to Logan. He's with the wooden stick right there. Oh, he twisted as he just ran into somebody.
Yeah.
No, not even a hit. It was just kind of incidental contact as they were chasing after that loose ball. But Fayez Bardai just calming his guys out. Hey, it's okay. And he is such a calm presence on that Coquitlam bench. Really enjoyed talking lacrosse with him last year at the Founders. And obviously with Darius Kilgore. There's so many really committed lacrosse people. And this is not a good sign. Brett Logan being helped, being carried completely off the floor. You hate to see that. He'll go straight out the door, down the hall. There's somebody there to meet him, the trainer, and another staff member helping him, as he didn't even go to their dressing room. Both the dressing rooms are on the far side of the floor. Coquitlam will have possession. We're a couple minutes into the second period. The 4-1 lead for the Seneca War Chiefs intact. Daniel Miller takes the pass across the top. That pass doesn't quite connect. He's scooped up there by Smigel, the captain. Miller down to Smith. He's going to set a bit of a seal. Toe drag. And the attempt to get through didn't quite work. It wasn't there for Jeremy Basic. Then that pass doesn't connect with Smith. They've got 5 left on the shot clock. So Miller's just going to let one fly. Oh, it almost came out to Smith. Would have been a glorious rebound chance as he slipped in behind the coverage.
Yeah, that's maybe one knock that you could have of this Seneca defense. As soon as they think there's a chance, so many of their guys on the floor are moving, taking off, whether they're going to the bench or looking for a chance. They just want to push transition.
Which is a good thing in a lot of ways, but there are times when it does leave your goalie exposed. Great toe drag by Clay Scanlon, but then I don't know if Sherman Williams was ready for that pass. He did corral it. Now he gets this pass, gets the shot off. That goes wide. They're going to run out of time on the shot clock.
I'm not sure if
Williams was a bit surprised, and then the pass across also surprised Emerson Stevens on the other side.
I was going to say, I'm not too sure if Scanlon meant to on that toe drag in the pass. I don't know if he just lost the ball and went to the right spot, but I mean, if he did mean to do that, that's an absolute gorgeous pass.
It looked good either way.
Yeah.
Whether it was intentional or not.
Yep.
Nice job by Smigel to fight through. Passes down to the back, doesn't quite connect, bounced off, could have been dangerous. Gutch-Salinas gets stripped. And getting the ball back immediately is Alex Nimmo. He sees the check coming, the trail check from Jimmy Chadwick, and now they've got him pinned. That's Hoya John and Chadwick, but Smith is going to be there. He actually just kind of protects the position, and great job by Smigel to get that ball out of, it was actually over top of the Coquitlam bench, but he just snagged it before it touched anything. It's not out of play until it touches something. And you're nodding. We do that all the time up here, right? One of us starts to say something, the other one's nodding. Yeah, absolutely.
Good defense there by Salinas. Makes the play, knocks his man over, and
he's going to head off.
I think his chin strap was undone.
Yeah. That pass actually bounces through the legs of the defender, and a chance there. Ripping it from the outside. There's a breakaway. That one goes just a little bit wide. He gets tripped up by the goaltender. And I think Seneca may be looking for a penalty call there. They're not going to get one.
There's Cameron Carpenter with a great chance there. And
there's a shot from the outside. That one's stopped by Benedict. No problem with the Smigel offering.
Schmiegel's had a ton of chances. He's one of the fifth-year players on this team. Oh, great pick off there. That one almost nearly went into the bench.
Forte hands it off to Scanlon, who'll move it to the far side and take it back on the give and go. There's a backdoor cutter. Instead, they're going to try and feed it through. Scanlon's covered too, so now it's the backdoor pass. That one bounces and will head up out of play. That is Keelan Seneca. We've said we'd find out who 63 was. He was listed as 64 in the program. Keelan Seneca wearing 63.
A great
pretty
catch
heavily,
and release.
Yeah, and heavily involved in the the offense. So we needed to find out. And number 10 is Hoya John, actually the grandson, I believe. His grandson, Adrian Stevens said. Adrian helping us out there at the intermission. You're going to be down on the floor in the second intermission.
Yes.
With a player from Coquitlam.
Trevor Funk.
There you go.
One of the newcomers to this team.
Up from Maple Ridge.
Yeah.
Adding some talent up front, as you said, one of the leading scorers, a top 10 scorer in the BC Junior B Tier 1. And again, the changes to the BC system, really like what they're doing for this team. They think there's a shot from the outside. Nice save by Benedict, but I'll tell you, the folks in BC think it's going to make them much more competitive at the Founders Cup and help players develop a bit more quickly for the Junior A system.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like the way that the tier system works out. And next year, I know there's a little bit of confusion, but next year BC is supposed to be sending their champion. This year, unfortunately, not seeing the champion, but you're still seeing one of the top teams in the Adanacs.
Yeah, I mean, Coquitlam was in the final against the Victoria Shamrocks. Great wrap check. Nice job there by Ron John. So calmly executed and then just grabbed by the goaltender to throw it ahead. That was Troy Benedict.
Just so dynamic. He's an impact player pretty much anywhere you put him on the floor.
Sherman Williams, spin move underneath. Thought about going twister pass, but had the ball knocked out. Ball pops free again, but is snagged there by the War Chiefs. Shot clock expires before they can make anything happen, though. Great work by Bielik. And here comes Andrew Miller. He was one of my favorite players last year at the Founders Cup in Saskatoon, where he was just such a dynamic transition force for Coquitlam. They haven't really got their transition game going yet in this, but they will. They will.
Yeah. You know, the coaching staff of Coquitlam, they basically told me, keep your eye on him. You're going to like him. He's a great defender that can move the ball to the floor.
Smiggle, sidearm bouncer. It's going to come straight back to him. May have been tipped a little bit by Salinas. And Smiggle sees that the shot clock was expiring. So he puts it, had expired, so he puts it down on the possession change. Working it from the outside. Emerson Stevens moves it across to Scanlon, back to Stevens. Stevens waiting for it, but that pass was low. Benedict's going to jump out and just swat it away. He saw the imposing figure bearing down on him of Anthony Buono. Buono's another player who had a terrific tournament last year. A lot of size on this Coquitlam back end and the front end with Brian Smith and his ilk.
Yeah, it's a good balance of size and speed, and sometimes you never want to be too big, so sometimes that means you're a little bit slower, and you don't want to be small and speedy all the time. You do need your bruisers up front to create some space.
Nice save by Benedict. Still 4-1. Player down the floor has to be aware he's got somebody coming after him. Great job defensively by Andrew Miller to not have a push on the back or any kind of violation, and that results in a turnover and a ball for BC for Coquitlam. And that's the kind of play you'll get from Andrew Miller. He talked about his athleticism, his skill, his toughness, but he's also a very smart player.
Yeah. He's one of those five-tool defenders that have all the tangibles and the intangibles.
Smiggle runs into his man, has to try and get some space. And there's a sidearm rip by Funk around the defender, maybe a bit of a screen, and just slips it through past the leg of Troy Benedict.
There it is, Funk. We talked about all the skill that he does have, a top 10 scorer in the BC Tier 1 Junior B League. Nice skip pass and using his defender as a screen, and Benedict just doesn't keep the stick down enough, and it's enough for Funk to get his first goal of the game.
Great shot there on the replay, showing the exact angle and how hard it was for Troy Benedict to see that ball.
That's the difficult thing with the defenders. You have to get out quick enough to get to hands, and if you are late, usually you're screening your goalie.
Yeah. Here's a breakaway. We talked about the transition game. Here it is. Oh, but big save by the hand of Troy Benedict. Nice hustle on the loose ball as Nicholas Musso scoops that ball up and gets it back to the offense. So he gets the transition opportunity and then sets things up for them to go on the offense. It is 4-2 as we near the midway point of this second period of Game 3 here from the 2018 Founders Cup in Akwesasne. Daniel Miller, that is Andrew's younger brother. Got a few brother acts on the Coquitlam Adanacs. Lacrosse, such a family game.
It is. It really is. I mean, there's so many famous brothers within the game of lacrosse, and
I mean, you're from the Oshawa Whitby area.
Yep.
There's plenty of them there.
Yeah.
The McMichaels among them.
Yes.
Mitch still playing for the Brooklyn Redmen, and Ryan is supposed to be here hanging out somewhere. We heard he was coming for the game tonight.
I heard he was as well. I know he's
Ryan making the 3-hour drive.
Yeah, he's buddies with Fayez. I know they were texting back and forth.
And there you see the way things are split up. The host medicine men with the Ontario champs, the Manitoba champs, and the Saskatchewan SWAT. They're champs, of course. Manitoba and Saskatchewan pretty much just come because they don't have their own leagues at this point. They do take part in the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League, based mostly out of Alberta. And the Blizzard, Manitoba Blizzard, the last 2 years won that RMLL Junior B Championship. This year they didn't. They lost in the semifinals. I believe it was. Semis, right?
I believe it was the semis.
Might have even been the quarters. I'm not sure. Play starts up once again. The Seneca War Chiefs with the ball. Emerson sorry, Emerson Stevens, that is, gets it back. He's going to let it rip. Bowden comes across and takes that away. Stevens saw a hole, but it was gone by the time he got it there. I'm going to guess that Emerson Stevens is also related to Adrian Stevens. Going with that family theme. I'm saying, you know, that all the brothers in Durham, in the Durham region. I'm from Peterborough. There's brothers all over the place. I mean, the Evanses, there were 6 of them that played pro lacrosse and hockey in one generation, and then 3 more in the next generation. There's a save by Benedict on the hard shot by Basic. And Coquitlam going hard after that ball. You can see the energy of Coquitlam rising through this second period. They are battling hard.
They're led by their captain, Schmiegel, who you can tell he's a guy playing like this is his last chance in junior lacrosse.
Benedict had that one rolling up his foot a bit, but he managed to corral it, or at least control it, and Ryan Kidd will run up and hand it off to the offense. Seneca left it there for Stevens. Seneca trying to cut back door. It's going to be, oh, what a rip by Sherman Williams. And he got a tiny flinch. Those goal scorers have that knack where they can sense or cause the goalie to do something. Either sense what he's going to do or cause. And you can see just the tiniest flinch opening that spot for him.
Yeah, you'll see it right here. Pass coming up. And he's on his wrong side, but just like you said, that one flinch, that fake, and you could see as soon as it left his stick, you knew exactly where is that going. It was the top corner, but still, I mean, he had no chance making that stop.
And I'll tell you, I remember talking to Darius Kilgore last year, and he was saying, when you're taking shots, if it's warm-up, if it's practice, if it's a game, if it's shoot-around, whatever it is, change it every time. Never let the goalie just see what you're going to do. Always. Little movements with the head, little movements with the shoulder, the hands, the fingers, anything to make them flinch and create a space for you. And that's what Sherman Williams did there. That was just, you could see that spot opened up as he took the shot. Nice toe drag. Knocked down. There's a penalty coming on the hit just as Scanlon was going down. The shot from Seneca doesn't get through, but they will go to the power play, and they lead 5-2, the Seneca War Chiefs.
And that's one of those plays where it's perfectly executed. You make the check, you throw the guy down, and it's just that one little extra hack at the end. Makes the noise, the ref puts the hand up.
Well, when the player's down, I mean, you can't check a guy
check
who's
him
on
down.
the floor.
Nope. But as soon as he's down, as soon as the ref, even if you try to make an attempt for the stick, it's
a little dodgy because you never know. I mean, if you get the stick, it's fine.
But what are the chances? It's got to be a pretty clean check.
Yeah. Slow build up to the power play here. Now the movement starts. Stevens tries to feed it through to Williams. Wasn't really there, but they do get the ball back. Hard pass through. That one's knocked away. Actually bounced off a Coquitlam player. Scooped up. Andrew Miller on the near side, waiting for a pass. Instead, going to the net. Ooh, that was knocked loose. He rams into the boards. And they're going to get Coquitlam possession on the loose ball foul as the ball had popped out of the stick. Paying the price there is Tyson Johnston, but gets the ball back for the Adanacs, who are shorthanded for another minute 25.
A little gamesmanship there as Smith slowly trotted to pick up that ball.
Pass onto the crease. They had a wide open Adam Noakes for the pass just behind him as he was sprinting in towards the net. It's going to be Daniel Miller coming up with it, lobs it out to his teammate. And that goes through the open bench door, and Andrew Miller looks at it like, no. The door was closing, and the ball just slipped through, and penalty coming up to Gutch Salinas.
A roughing behind the play. Didn't quite see that. I was too busy working to see if our trusty producer saying late hit into the boards as you see someone coming out now.
Yeah, and still down on the floor is Daniel Miller. And we basically trust everything Matthew Carrick says.
Yes.
Mostly.
What he says is gospel. Never been wrong once.
I'm not 100% sure I'd go quite that far. So 5-2. Seneca leads Coquitlam with 7:42 to go here in the second period. I'm Stephen Stamp, joined by Pat Gregoire. and the entire JVI crew. We're very pleased to be bringing you this 2018 Founders Cup from Akwesasne. So 1:05 to go on the original penalty to Brady Georgette. And 2 minutes now on the Gutch Salinas penalty. So we'll have 1:05 of 4-on-4 play, unless anything happens in the interim. There's the schedule for tomorrow. You can see the 11, 2, 5, and 8 games, the regular schedule. North Shore versus Coquitlam. That's going to be a fun one. Allura and Manitoba. Allura obviously favored there. We'll see them tonight. The SWAT and the Medicine Men. That's an important game for them. The SWAT have to win that game, or they have no chance to be in the, or virtually no chance to be in the medal contention.
The primetime game there is something that I'm looking forward to seeing. Calgary against Seneca. And
that's going to be good.
It's going to be a very, very good game. Both teams like to run the ball. They like to play aggressive on defense, and they have a few studs up on offense as well. And I can't forget about the goaltending. And Troy Benedict's been pretty solid here. Hasn't been tested too much, but has come up to the occasion when tested.
Yeah, not sure if we're going to see Josiah LaForme in that game. He isn't here yet, is the word. He was out in Saskatoon at the World Junior Lacrosse Championships playing for the U.S. And his brother Joe LaForme was also out there. So a couple of War Chiefs making the trek and being part of that American team that, doing some interesting things, some pretty fun lacrosse from the Americans. They are out there on a learning process. Funk with the pass across. Smigel can't quite handle it, and it's scooped up and off to the races is Ron John. You can see how quickly he covers room and makes the pass. Oh, what a great pass, and a nice job avoiding the goaltender by Cody Bielek. There's a rip from Williams. That one's going to go off the shoulder of Bowden, then off the post, off the boards, and 3/4 of the way down the length of the floor as Williams tracks it down. And will now pick it up to get the reset started. Oh, did that? Yeah, okay, there you go. I was waiting for the reset.
So was
Seneca.
Kilgore.
Yeah, and Seneca, great job. Keelan Seneca going twister. We talked about you got to change the angle, change the view for the goalie, and Seneca places that one perfectly. Again, not huge power, perfect placement.
Love the celebration between Seneca and Stevens too, just the casual how you doing handshake, but beauty Selly for a gorgeous goal. Seneca just walks in, face dodge, and as he brings it across his face, the defender is probably thinking, okay, he's got to bring it back at some point. Nope. Throws the twister, and it's a beauty.
That's the thing. Usually the twister, you pull it across as you're shooting. Yeah. You start the shooting motion and then go twister. He actually got it to that twister spot and then just flick of the wrist.
Push, and that just shows.
The push actually is even better description than the flick. Coquitlam's on the power play as that was a shorthanded marker for the Seneca War Chiefs. That hard shot from the outside by Smigel goes wide. Skip pass. There's a chance on the back door. Stepping out, shooting, scoring. Great job by Forselius. The patience to realize the quick stick wasn't there, so he stepped around the defender, reached around the goaltender Benedict, and as they say, your stick has eyes that you don't. He couldn't see that open spot, but his stick could.
No, exactly. This is just a perfectly placed, almost wrap shot there. Comes around the crease and just opens up, puts it in the perfect spot. For the second goal of the game? Maybe. We still don't know about that first one.
We're still not clear on who number 18 is. You're going to find that out when you're down there, right?
Yes, I can figure that out for you.
That's what you said last time.
They all ran away from me. The room is over there, so they can't go away.
They can't go away. You know where they are. You'll track them down. I'm Stephen Stamp with Pat Gregoire. Stick with us for the beginning of the intermission as he will be down on the floor with Trevor Funk of the Coquitlam Adanacs right now. It is Keelan Seneca. Nice backhand whip pass. They connected, and play will be blown down on the crease violations. It didn't quite connect, but the penalty coming to Coquitlam is going to send the War Chiefs to the power play to try and get their 4-goal lead back.
Yeah, and that's a costly penalty. You finally get some momentum going here on offense. You get that power play goal, and then go down, and now you're going to have to kill off what has been a deadly, potent attack that this Seneca War Chiefs has on the power play.
Nicholas Musso goes off for 2 minutes or less for illegal cross-checking. And Clay Scanlon will start at the top of the power play. Sherman Williams over to his right, gives the ball back to him. Anson Gardner rolls up to the top. He's going to take this pass now. Haven't seen a lot of Anson Gardner in this game, but he cuts to the middle. They're going to wait for something else as they cycle around. Pick from Scanlon. Actually kind of push the player into the shooter, but it comes straight back out to Williams. Great paint. Oh no, the shot just missing there. I think it actually tipped off the far post.
I think it did. So
they're going to want to reset. They're not going to get it.
Nope.
Well, when Clay Scanlon actually pulled that ball away and rolled it up and could easily have been dinged for a delay of game there. Won't happen, and BC will go to the penalty kill. No pressure up, so they're just going to hang on to it. Now the pass across. There's a cutter. Funk, big save, and actually Benedict, as he was moving, just left his stick sitting on the floor. Now there's a penalty coming. Is that Gutch Salinas again?
I think the way he's got his palms up to the sky, I'm going to have to assume it is. So Salinas is going to sit down for 2 minutes. Well, okay. There had been a slash before that.
That wasn't the one, is what you're saying. Brian Smith hands the ball off. We are 4-on-4. There's a cut to the middle. Smiggle wisely pulls it back, makes the quick pass, but just missing. The shot there was the cutter. There's a quick release, and now we're going to find out because hopefully they've given the PA announcer the name for number 18. Because he is now on the score sheet, getting Coquitlam's 4th goal of the game, pulling them within 2, and the Adanacs are really putting some pressure on.
Miller just recognizes, oh, that's just a beautiful, one of those fake shots to the back door, and the man with no name, we'll call him right now. Bears a beauty
gold
stick.
And purple. Yeah. Scooped up by Miller. He's going to go for a run. He's got a trailer. Nice job taking that trailer away. Great positioning by Ron John. Again, the young athletic player, but he shows you how high his lacrosse IQ is, just getting in the passing lane. And now it's picked up, and the War Chiefs going the other way. And boy, the 1-on-4 shot. We were saying earlier we didn't think it was, we've seen some shots today where guys are in positions where maybe they shouldn't shoot, but they go in, and it's hard to argue when it goes in, but when it doesn't necessarily look like a great decision. We're 5-on-4 now. As the Coquitlam penalty has expired, they've got 48 seconds on the man advantage at this point. Skip pass just gets through. Shot clock expires as that ball went wide on the rip from the outside.
Once again, you can hear Coquitlam's bench screaming, react, forget about it. As a few guys on the floor thought maybe it should have been a reset going off the toe, but
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
If the call's not there,
doesn't
you gotta
matter.
keep going.
And Fayez Bardet, he's keeping these guys, so calm, cool, and collected on the bench.
He is very clear. He's a great coach, like a great teacher on the bench. You can see him exhorting his guys, really getting in there with them and having a chat. He can be fiery, but he is a calming presence as well. He can definitely be fiery.
Yes.
He can get fired up. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on JVI Sports Network's coverage of the 2018 Founders Cup. We are back to 5-on-5 lacrosse. Salinas will run to the bench, and Clay Scanlon comes on to join the offense as the 30 starts to run. They tried to pass that through, didn't get anywhere near as it was tipped away, but it is tracked down by Gardner. He'll hand it off to Scanlon, who lets a hard shot go in the leg of Brady Georgette can tell you exactly how hard that was. He does pop back up, and then Georgette clamps on that ball and protects it there. Nice job to leave it for his teammate Riley Merritt. It'll be Seneca possession as that one gets out of play. Coming into the final 2 minutes of this second period, I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. Williams across to Scanlon. War Chiefs taking their time. Scanlon surveying. The War Chiefs want a call as there was a glove to the head of Scanlon. They try to pass it through, doesn't quite land in the stick there of Dawit Martin. Hard work along the boards by Andrew Forte. And the 30 will expire on the War Chiefs. So quite a battle on that possession as we're down to the final minute and a half. 6-4 for the War Chiefs. Pat Gregoire is heading down to turf side. As we move on, Funk takes the pass, tries to get through a couple defenders. Is repelled, but manages to hang on to possession. Great pass to the door. What a save by Benedict. As Smigel was all alone on top of the crease. Had to fire it quickly, but looked like a pretty good shot. And Benedict, just a quick response. And the ball is going to be rolled out as Coquitlam goes to the extra man with a delayed penalty coming. Cut through the middle, saved by Benedict. It's a slashing call to Gutch Salinas. So that's at least 3 for him. Has to be careful to avoid expulsion. Oh! We have Bo Chetner in number 18. Thank you very much to James from Adanac Abs on Twitter. I was given 7 as Bo Chetner's number, but I'm pretty sure that is him. We haven't seen a 7, so we're going to go with Bo Chetner. The little brother of Jean-Luc Chetner, although I think he's actually bigger than Jean-Luc. And he rips it right on cue. Jean-Luc Chetner, who's eligible for the National Lacrosse League draft this fall. And terrific player, the MVP and leading scorer of the European Box Lacrosse Championships last year in Turku, Finland. And really impressive. We're going to have a loose ball push called, or a loose ball violation of some sort called against Coquitlam. So Seneca gets the ball. 30 seconds left in the period. They are shorthanded, and we'll see. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like Troy Benedict's coming to the bench. Looks like they'll just go 4-on-5, let the rest of this period dwindle down, and then try a shot in the closing seconds. There's 15 left to go. Scanlon up to Seneca. Seneca's trying to fight his way through. Reverse backhand whip shot as he changed directions. And that shot's going to be a little bit late, so we will go to the second intermission. The score is 6-4 in favor of the Seneca War Chiefs. Coquitlam picking up momentum. Should be a dandy of a third period. And we will have Pat Gregoire down on the floor with Trevor Funk in just a moment as the teams make their way off the floor. And great lacrosse action here from the Founders Cup 2018 on JVI Sports Network. Thanks everyone for being with us and for all your help on Twitter and the shout outs. We appreciate the love on Twitter. Glad you guys are enjoying it. I've heard that the feed is very good. So great to see that quality as you guys are enjoying things, and that's the main thing. That's why we're doing this. So we will go down to the floor to Pat Gregoire.
Trevor Funk of the Coquitlam Adanacs. Does that still sound weird? You came over here at the end of the season from the Berards. How does it feel to be an Adanac now?
No, not uncomfortable at all. Boys made me feel like I'm right at home. It's awesome out here.
How has the adjustment been, clicking with some of these guys? It looked like in the first period, the offense really wasn't gelling, but in that second, you guys had a ton of chances. Yeah,
we're really getting into a groove again. Working hard, hopefully outwork the other team, put more balls in the net than they do.
Now, like I did mention in that second, your offense started clicking, but it was in the first, your goaltending and your defense really did keep you guys in this one. What was really working for them to allow the offense to kind of work things out and get going?
Our defense is amazing. Like, Gordy's a brick wall back there. Our D just knows what they're doing. Probably the best D here, I'd say. Yeah.
All right, Trevor, I'll let you get back to it, and good luck in the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, you heard it from Trevor Funk, one of the newest members of the Coquitlam Adanacs. They find themselves down 6-4. We'll have the third period of action coming up.
Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the 2018 Founders Cup here in Akwesasne on JVI Sports Network. We're right into the highlights.
And that goal there, we said one of the many twister goals we've seen so far. Just a nice little push there, and here come Coquitlam. We started to see them kind of grab some momentum, and it started with this one here. Just that little reach around shot there.
Forselius with the beautiful spot on the shot.
Unbelievable, like you said, the head of the stick can see something that the eyes can't. And then here we see the man with no name who we now know.
Bo Chetner, younger brother of Jean-Luc.
And Bo Chetner getting 2 goals on tonight. And
there's the schedule for tonight, as the opening ceremonies are at 7:45. And then 8:30, the Mohawk Medicine Men versus the OLA champion Allura Mohawks. The Medicine Men, the hosts of this tournament. And tomorrow we get going at 11 o'clock. And a full day, 4 more games, North Shore and Coquitlam. These Coquitlam Adanacs are going to have to turn around pretty quickly. Allura versus Manitoba at 2, the SWAT and the Medicine Men at 5, and then these War Chiefs get a nice long rest day against then the Calgary Shamrocks, the feature game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
That's going to be a beauty.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really, really strong game between those 2 teams. I think a lot of people kind of peg Seneca as the one, maybe now you can say Shamrocks, maybe 1A, 1B with those 2 teams.
Yeah.
But
hey, don't count Coquitlam out of this.
I don't think so. I mean,
they're
look,
coming back at 6-4. The first period was not a great one for the Coquitlam Adanacs.
No.
And somebody did mention on Twitter, get those travel legs out. You know, I was talking to Fayez Bardai, and he was saying, you know, yeah, we had the travel and really spent yesterday just trying to kind of get out of the grogginess, trying to get everything back. And it takes a bit, I'll tell you. For sure. I'm still feeling, I mean, I was in Israel in Netanya for the World Championships, came back, and it took me a bit to get over that. And then I was out in Saskatoon, flew in yesterday from Saskatoon. Oh, what's that announcement? There is the coaching staff for the Philadelphia Wings. Tracy Kolesky on offense, Ian Rubel on defense. We've been waiting for those. I had to figure
about that
Tracy Kolesky was going to Philadelphia. His GM in both cities, in Peterborough and Philadelphia, is Paul Day. So we figured that was coming. And Ian Rubel, an interesting addition. Seneca comes up with the ball right off the faceoff. And they're going to slow things down, set up. So it's the Gutch Salinas penalty. I believe it was the slash, was it not, near the end of the second period? Oh, what a shot! Clay Scanlon fights his way through traffic and just skips that shot through the tiniest of holes for the short-handed marker. A glorious chance for Coquitlam to close the gap more. Instead, the War Chiefs widen it.
Scanlon scorers. How many times have we heard that sentence being said, whether it be at this tournament, any other BC, Minto, whatever it may be? These brothers, wherever they play, whatever jerseys on their back, they're scoring electrifying goals like that. And Clay Scanlon finally getting rewarded with a goal there. He had so many opportunities.
And in watching Clay Scanlon, I believe the youngest of those, the 3 Scanlon brothers.
I believe so, yeah.
Last year at the Founders Cup, as we get a repair to the goaltender's gear, Cameron Bowden. So I was watching him, and very talented, did some great things, but you could see he had a bit of maturing to do, physically and mentally. I mean, young players have their growth to go through, and what a difference this year. He is a super confident player on the floor, and it is showing in everything he's doing.
Crashing and bashing into bodies too.
Clark for Coquitlam lining up for the faceoff. That is Carter Clark, and he is going up against Andrew Forte, and Seneca will get possession on the faceoff violation. And Ron John has some pressure on him and very calmly runs through that double team. And had his eyes up the whole time, protecting the ball, but waiting to see where somebody was, and got it to Clay Scanlon. And the benefit from John's perspective is you throw the ball anywhere near Clay Scanlon, he'll catch it.
Yes.
So it makes it a bit easier, but still, you have to fight off those checks and make the great pass.
Yeah, he's so strong on the ball. I mean, just walked through a couple of those defenders, like you said, with relative ease, or at least making it look.
Yeah, he made it look easy. 4 seconds. I think it is easy for Ron John. He's so strong. The penalty expiring for Gutch Salinas, and they go to the net as it comes out, and they're going to get the ball back on the rebound, so they will be at even strength. And another drive to the net. That one is stopped by Bowden, who is feeling a bit like a duck in a shooting gallery. As Cody Bielik took that ball to the net. Coquitlam will try to get things rolling. It's just a 1-goal addition here so far with that shorty. Shorthanders do tend to carry some momentum change effect, but it's still just a 3-goal game, 18 minutes plus to go here. So Coquitlam with lots of time, just don't want to dig too deep of a hole. 8 teams at this year's Founders Cup. We had 6 last year in Saskatoon. It's great to see a couple more clubs out. Last year, Saskatchewan was just 1 team. The FNLA has 2. Looking to the trailer, that's a little bit too high. Just drifted it up too far for Josh Goebel. And the War Chiefs will come up with the ball. And again, Seneca pushing the pace, but the smart decision by Jimmy Chadwick to just hand that one off. Seneca goes to the offense. Sherman Williams, he's so solid, and he's going to fire that one. Ball picked up on the crease. Nice save. Very close to bouncing in, but great work by Bowden to keep control of that.
You talked about Anson Gardner, the former Genesee Community College Cougar, I believe, is their moniker. He got a chance there. A little bit quiet in the first half of the game, but later on in the second, and especially in the third, he's getting a boatload of chances here.
There's a shot just missing the far side by Bo Chetner. Ball skips away and could lead to an opportunity here. Oh, nice job protecting the ball, but then just kind of double clutched on the shot.
Cameron Carpenter, that's twice now we've seen him be able to keep those calm feet from going into the crease, hold on to the ball. And
yeah, great wheels from Carpenter. And the War Chiefs on offense. 10 seconds left to shoot, and Scanlon, the low shot. Bowden is scooping up everything low they're shooting at him. They might have to change things up and try to go top shelf on him.
Yeah, he's real good down low, whether he makes the stick save and pops it up for a quick outlet, but he's been good with the feet too.
Ryan McMichael following along. There's a shot from the outside. There's a save by Benedict. And McMichael saying, isn't Fayaz a beauty? Good buddy of his. We know that. And he is indeed a beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Anson Gardner takes the handoff pass. Oh, a huge hit. Waiting for him to turn around. I believe that was Brody Georgette.
Yes.
Yeah, and the big bomb of a hit that flattened the Seneca player. They try to get it through to Scanlon. He can't get it, but Gardner does. His shot is knocked aside by Bowden.
Gardner was also named the game MVP for the exhibition game that they had, the tune-up game against Team USA.
Okay.
So
Gardner did play last year, got into 6 games, scored 6 points, a goal and 5 assists. Clay Scanlon had 16 points in his 5 games, 5 goals and 11 assists. Oh, what hands by Anson Gardner. Matches his total from last year's Founders Cup with a beautiful display of the quick stick on the back door.
I mean, it was a matter of time. We were talking about all these opportunities he got. And this one here, you knew he was going to bury. A little bit of a funny play here, but you'll see the pass coming across. Nice fake. Beautiful feed. And Gardner, just that nice quick stick, and you could tell he was fired up with the chest bump.
Like the Selly. Sherman Williams coming in for the high five. He never got there.
No.
As Gardner goes chest to chest, bumping Williams. And if you can bump Sherman Williams and move him, you are a strong man. Scanlon just leaves it there for Williams. Ball pops loose. Scooped up by Andrew Miller. He navigates through traffic, senses Williams coming, gets pushed in, and just, oh, what a play to just leave it back there for his teammate. They kind of toss it around, but they still do have possession. That's the key. Trevor Funk will go and track it down. He's going to try and run up into the offensive zone because they're already down to 13 seconds on the shot clock. Funk follows his pass, cuts to the middle. They try to feed that pass through. That was way too high for Daniel Miller, and it is snagged there by Hoya John. Outlet pass doesn't quite connect, and it's grabbed. The bump by the captain as Evan Printup bangs his man to the floor, but the Adanacs doing a nice job of handling the ball, handling the duress of the hits, and still making the passes they need to make. Leads to that shot that's going to go wide, way up in the air. Chetner couldn't come up with it. We're going to have a battle along the boards, tapping it ahead to himself. Nice work by Ron John. Not the shot he was hoping for as he went to try and squeak it between the arm and the body, but I don't know that that was there. I think if he had another shot, he'd probably aim a bit closer to the pipe on one side or the other.
One of those plays he's You could tell, felt the pressure on the back, just wanted to get a shot on net.
What an athletic play, though, to fight off the check, tap the ball off the boards ahead to himself, scoop it up and go in all alone.
I've been very impressed with his game here today.
Sidearm rip, that bounces. I don't know that Benedict saw it coming cleanly, but he still makes the save. That was from the stick of Trevor Funk. Seneca into the offensive zone. They lead 8-4. Scanlon with those trademark long locks bouncing off his shoulders. Gets this pass. Loads it up. Steps around the pick from Anson Gardner. Gives it to Gardner, who bounces far side. Gorgeous shot. And in the last 4 minutes, Anson Gardner has doubled his goal total from last year's Founders.
Yeah, Gardner's really starting to heat up. The confidence is going, but what an absolute play by Scanlon. He loves this. Leaves the ball, hangs out. He'll either go for that toe drag, as you see there. Instead of bringing it, he brings it through his body and then passes that over to Gardner and just throws a perfect bounce shot that goes right over Bowden's shoulder.
Seneca gets the ball once again. They are dominating possession off the faceoffs here in the third period. That's such a weapon when you can get those balls back. Seneca wanted a hold there and may have been justified. There's a bit of a spin with the tug on the shoulder. Seneca hands it off. Oof. Ooh, the big hit. Clay Scanlon just avoided it. Here's a break for Georgette. He's got a spot and bounces it home. Troy Benedict has been unbeatable, but he is no longer as Brady Georgette. Scoops and bounces it right through the legs.
Yeah, Georgette's been playing with some fire. We've seen him throw a couple of big hits. This time, runs the ball down the floor, throws that one nice fake, and gets Benedict to open up the wickets, just slides it right through the 5-hole. Perfectly executed breakaway move. Georgette just gasping for air on the bench there. Well-deserved break.
He earned it. And Coquitlam gets the ball back. So they pull within 4, get possession, and have a slow change over along the bench there. They get it, of course, across to Smiggle. Smiggle to Smith. Bit of a toe drag. Flips it BTB. Crowd's growing as the day goes on here at the Turtle Dome. And the Seneca with the pressure in the defensive zone, get that ball back, move it up into the offensive end of the floor. There's Seneca with it.
I know a lot of people were hoping that Akwesasne could pull off a victory against the Gales and maybe make it all the way, and then you'd have technically 2 hometown teams here.
Chance there for Dawit Martin, but that one bounced a little bit wide. Akwesasne got to the semifinals of the Ontario Championships, where they played the Clarington Green Gales and fell in that series. Quite a series that was.
Yeah, it was.
And then the Green Gales go on to play the Elora Mohawks. We've talked about it. They had to go through the Wallaceburg, Six Nations, Clarington gauntlet to make it here.
And I think maybe they were just a little more battle-tested than the Green Gales.
Yeah, a bit older, a bit bigger team possibly for the.
Yeah, the Green Gales are very young.
Back into the net is Bowden, and he never really got himself settled. And that will be Jimmy Chadwick with the silly. Makes like he's playing women's field lacrosse and drops the stick and throws the hands up in the air, and they stay there.
And they stay there. Chadwick just picks up the loose ball and throws a couple of nice
fakes. Oh, and he was in the crease.
Ooh.
100%. Can we run that one more time before the face-off? Do we have time?
Wow.
Just watch the left foot as the toes come down. When we get a chance, we'll get a look at that. Coquitlam gets the ball back.
Wouldn't mind seeing the Selly again, too.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Selly. So Coquitlam, trailing by 5, will go to the attack. Outside rip. That one off a Seneca player. And with possession will go back as Trevor Funk bounced it off a purple jersey defender. Funk slips through Salinas, only to run into Sherman Williams. Sherman Williams playing defense. I mean, he can play anywhere.
Yeah.
He's a good enough player, but it's just surprised. I thought he was going to be running mostly front door here. He may have just been back.
I think he may have just got caught back in transition, but he's one of those guys that, you know, if he does get caught back there, it's okay. You're not too worried about it.
Keelan Seneca back to Anson Gardner. Oh, quick stick backdoor, but the save by Bowden. What a great stop, as that was a quick release on the far side, that backdoor attempt by Emerson Stevens. Brian Smith looked like he might just load it up and let it rip. Makes the pass across instead. Smiggle with the pass now. They try to go on top of the crease. It just gets away from Basic. And the War Chiefs with the ball once again as we near the midway point of this third period. I'm Stephen Stamp with Pat Gregoire. Thank you everyone for being with us here at the 2018 Founders Cup on JVI Sports Network. We'll have the games all week long. 3 days of round robin play, then a day of playoffs, and then the championship games. The second tier final for 5th place, the bronze medal game and the gold medal game coming on Saturday. There's a hard rip low to high by Scanlon. It's scooped up, and Buono going for a run. He's got a couple with him. There's Miller. That shot is knocked down. What a great play defensively by Liam Anderson. He'll sprint to a center floor and leave it there for Ron John, who takes it back from Seneca. Keelan Seneca looking to the far side. He's going to near side instead as Gardner slipped open. Just pops away from him though. Oh, nice little over-the-shoulder flip. Didn't quite get all the way up to Kylie Merritt. Big collision. Eric Forselius eventually handed it off. There's Chetner. Drive to the net. Penalty coming. The foul drawn by Alex Nimmo as he fought to the middle. Gets held, and the Adanacs with exactly 9 minutes to play will go to the power play.
This is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Adanacs. Five goals to go, 9 minutes. Definitely not too big the hill to overcome, but the way that their 5-on-5 offenses look. Actually, Steve, we're
here is the breakaway. Jimmy Chadwick, watch the left foot. It's not this step, it's the next one. Right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Still a nice play, and still keep it going. Keep it going. Let's see the celly. Oh, the celly! What are you doing to us? You're killing me, Smalls. I just heard technical stuff. You can't see what you want to see. But thanks anyway. Great job getting that one back up. We hear things from Matthew Carrick, and we just kind of nod and smile and keep going. It is 10-5. The Adanacs on the power play. Outside rip from Forselius. Bounces off a Seneca player up out of play. It'll be a fresh 30 and possession for Coquitlam. Brian Smith backing his way in, then just kind of leaves the ball for Forselius. Skip pass. Kind of went between everybody. Nothing was working for Coquitlam, and then all of a sudden Smith was open, and that pass goes away from Smiggle, but he tracks it down. There's an overhand rip by Forselius. Nice job on the defense, getting out on hands to force that one wide. Shot clock winding down. Actually, they're up at 12 seconds. Seems like this is about a minute-long possession, and they're going to get it back. Maybe. He didn't go through the crease. I think Chetner was okay, jumped over the crease. Now, I haven't ever thought of that. In CLA play, if your foot goes over the cylinder of the crease, it's no goal. Mm-hmm. That's a crease violation. But if you run over the edge of the crease and don't step in it, would that not also be going through the crease to play the ball?
It should be.
I don't know.
Something maybe we'll have to ask one of the officials that are staying in our hotel.
Sometimes there's some little ambiguities. You can follow the Seneca War Chiefs. They're tweeting to keep everyone up to date. Watch the games here on JVI Sports Network as that chance turned aside by Bowden. But Scanlon tracks it down. 30 seconds left in the penalty, and they've drawn an Adanacs penalty. And another one, I believe there's a second one coming. Yeah, the hold and the cross check. Oh, So that is big. Josh Goebel. The first penalty, the delay goes on, but when there's a second call, play is whistled down.
Yeah.
For anyone who's wondering why, play was stopped while Seneca still had possession. So Seneca War Chiefs are at Seneca War Chiefs. We are at JVI Video. Is that right? Okay. Oh, they've been tagging all the other teams in the tournament, so just follow everybody. Follow me at Stamplax. Follow Pat Gregoire at P. Greggy. No underscore.
There you go.
I like that.
How many, quick question, how many penalties has Jay Scanlon drawn here today? At least, that's 2 there.
Yeah.
At least another one, 3.
And how many has Gutch Salinas taken? 4, I believe, right?
Yes.
So Gutch has to be a little careful.
Yeah.
Oh, nice job by Keelan Seneca as Benedict was out of his net, and that could have been dangerous had Kylie Merritt been able to get to it. So Coquitlam will take their time, and it was 4 minutes, the penalty. Oh yeah, of course, the 2 penalties.
I don't know about that one.
This is Riley Merritt. I've been saying Kylie because my pen actually didn't make the top of the R very well, so my apologies to Riley Merritt and the Merritt clan. I've actually been kind of going back and forth, which is probably the worst of all the options. Sorry about that, guys. I am Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire here at the 2018 Founders Cup on JVI Sports Network. Coquitlam taking their time as they kill this penalty, and they can kill the whole 4 minutes if Seneca lets them. And if you're Seneca, why not?
Why not?
Let them let the clock run. Coquitlam down by 5. They got to get going. But nobody is able to get open.
Printup and Chadwick went out to play the ball, and you could hear the bench saying, just leave it, just leave it, just leave it.
Let them go. But they are covering everybody off ball very well. They'll let, there's a pass picked off by Gutch Salinas. We're giving him a bit of a hard time with the penalties, but I love his game.
Oh, absolutely.
We like that aggressive play.
For sure, for sure. He just thinks he's getting ready for field. With that pole in his hand, hacking on hands.
Just got to be smart.
Yeah. Trent should have another solid season this year, I anticipate.
Yeah, this is a good club. They've got, do they not have Nick Jakowski coming this year?
Yeah.
That's going to help.
Farthing at the helm, the new head coach.
Oh, 5-hole shot. Anson Gardner with his 3rd goal of the game. Gardner, what a rip that one was.
And Gardner, you mentioned it, not being an impact player last year, more of a depth guy. Well, here it looks like he's going to be one of the top players for this Seneca team. It's a beautiful feed that comes across, and just a quick stick places it perfectly right through the 5-hole. And like you said, 3rd goal of the game for him.
And you see that with things happening with players as they grow. From year to year, you come back to these tournaments and you can see the growth as players get a year older, get more experience. There's a backdoor attempt. Gardner almost had his 4th, but it just skipped out of the stick. I think his eyes were big as saucers on that one.
You know what? The Seneca team keeps the ball movement from the perimeter. You don't see too much, cutting in and out. Not too many skip passes, but it's the off-ball movement that's allowing Coquitlam to kind of get lost. They get caught ball watching and allows them.
The goalie bowed into the bench. So the Adanacs will take a shot as Seneca had actually been a little more aggressive, short-handed than Coquitlam had been. Or sorry, had been more aggressive than Coquitlam had been. But I mean, they've got to go. That's why they pull the goalie, because they can't. They can't just sit and wait.
No.
You might think the War Chiefs would just let it run for 30 seconds on the power play, but they're moving towards the net. There's Anson Gardner cutting through.
You got to work on your progressions as well too.
Skips it up to Williams. Behind the back to Seneca. Sweep backdoor. Quick stick attempt, didn't quite connect. And they will use up the full 30, passing the ball around, but they were trying to get the shot late there. Now penalty coming to Seneca. That's Emerson Stevens going off. Going to take the delay of game call. So that will negate the man advantage for the War Chiefs and put us at 4-on-4. We'll see if Bowden goes to the bench. He's out at the top of the dotted line around the outside of the crease there. In the Coquitlam zone. He's going back now. I thought he might go.
I was thinking so too.
They're looking at him. Maybe they're just waiting until play goes. No, they're just going to go 4-on-4. I'd probably pull him.
Certainly think about it.
Yeah, gotta go. Then again, as we talked about earlier, goal differential can make a difference. You don't want to give up empty net goals if you don't need to. So, you know, what is the benefit of pulling the goalie when you're down by 6 with 3.5 minutes to go? Is it worth the risk that you face? That pass skips through the legs of Cody Bielik.
Too many men there for Coquitlam. It was a nice pass for Georgette. Would have been a good chance, but
Fayaz Bardai does put his hands up in the air to the official saying, why is not too many? I don't agree with that call.
Yeah, they're pretty adamant that they had enough just amount of right guys on the floor.
Here's a break, an opportunity, but the save by Benedict just got a little bit on that one. Was that Adam Noakes in transition? Oh, no, sorry.
No, it was not.
Matthew Froze.
Yes.
Seneca really pouring things on here in the third period. We've got about 2.5 minutes to go, just over. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. Again, go to the Founders Cup site. Check out the whole schedule, Founders_Cup. Just put in, honestly, I just put in Founders Cup lacrosse. Penalty coming to the Adanacs. And this play is blown down as the ball pops loose and it's picked up. So Georgette will go to the box for the slash, which wipes out the final 20 seconds of the Coquitlam power play. We will go 4-on-4. Remember, a little delay today because there is the opening ceremonies at 7:45. So the final game of the day will be on at 8:30 tonight.
Yes.
That will be the Ontario champion of Lower Mohawks against the host Mohawk Medicine Men. Tomorrow, games at 11, 2, 5, and 8. The full schedule is on. Just go to, honestly, the JVI Twitter account, JVI Video.
Yes.
And everything laid out for you there.
Hit that subscribe button. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, go to the JVI YouTube. And everything's right there for you. Nice toe drag. Then the pass down just skips away from the stick of Andrew Forte. Forte's had a good game. Penalty coming to Coquitlam. There's a drive through the middle. Cody Bielik couldn't quite find a spot that he was looking for.
Four on three here.
Tyler Johnson goes to the box for slashing. Had a lot of slashing here.
The officials did say, I believe in their pre-meetings, that was one of the things they wanted to crack down on, was the slashing.
The refs, you know, they put a lot of effort in, and we appreciate their contribution to the game. Without the refs, we don't have games of lacrosse. That being said, I don't like that call.
I don't love it either.
No.
But this is a few things that they said they really wanted to watch.
That's a point of emphasis.
Point of emphasis was that. On the face-offs, they didn't want the clamp. Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's a CLA rule. Officially, the rule is you have to draw back. You can't clamp and pop. The one thing I do find it's tough because the refs all year, they ref guys who are clamping and popping, and then they're expected to do it differently. So players try it, but then usually there's one player who will abide by that and pull back. The other guy just picks up the ball and they let it go, and then the guy who pulled back is like, what? And it just builds and builds. There's Clay Scanlon. He bounces it off the post and gets buried into the turf. I like that defense. You got to continue to play physical out there. That was Nicholas Musso knocking him down. Scanlon has the ball. Gets it back. Far side pass. They are trying to feed Cody Bielik to get him one. It's scooped up. We're in the final minute of the third period.
Yeah, Bielik's had a couple of assists, but no goals yet.
Stay tuned for the player of the game presentations. After the game, they will be made every contest in this tournament. Clay Scanlon, the nice feed across. Oh, what a finish having to reach back for it. And that was Evan Printop, who had to reach, wasn't sure he had the ball. He kind of looked up actually at the stick to double clutch and make sure he did. And then the beautiful touch to sneak that one into the far side.
Yeah, you love seeing the D guys get involved. Sees winner. Where are you? Where are you, Scanlon? Feeds it off. Just a little fake boom back to him. Like you said, you see him, looks up. Oh, do I have it? Perfect. Boom.
On the give and go, and a nice finish. Just goes sidearm, reaches around the goaltender, tucks it in. 12-5. We've got 37.5 seconds to go here. Coquitlam still shorthanded for the remainder of this game. 8:30, the final game tonight. Elora versus the Mohawk Medicine Men. So that's the Elora Mohawks against the Mohawk Medicine Men.
That won't be confusing.
I'm Stephen Stamp with Pat Gregoire. Thank you, everyone, for being with us here on JVI Sports Network at the 2018 Founders Cup. Again, subscribe to JVI Sports Network on YouTube. Check out all the games. Stay tuned for the post game. We're going to leave it up with our audio and just run you through that. And then there'll be the opening ceremonies at this event, which has gotten off to a pretty good start here today.
Yeah. You know what? We've seen some tightly contested games. I think after seeing the first 3 games, you know, you got to think Calgary. You got to think this Seneca team has really established themselves as some of the top teams that we will see. Manitoba, they have a good core. Are they going to have enough depth to, you know, go up against some of these top teams?
A lot of experience for Manitoba.
Exactly.
That trio really on the top of Andy Zunn, Kelson Borisenko, and Colin Poitras. Just really leading the way for them. Player of the game for Coquitlam is Bo Chetner. I like that call. He had a couple of goals. Yeah. And you have all the stuff. You're very good at keeping track of.
Not that
You didn't get the assist.
I didn't get the assist on this one.
Let me down, but I got nothing. So
Gardner.
Anson Gardner with the hat trick. Named player of the game for Seneca. You could have gone with a bunch of guys. I kind of like Clay Scanlon's game.
Yeah.
But the Adanacs heading off the floor. Fayez Bardai is out there to shake hands, and the Adanacs, and there's Bowden, the goalie, actually comes sprinting out so he can get to the front of the line and shake Troy Benedict's hand. And sometimes you don't know at a tournament what the protocol is.
Yeah.
Are you shaking hands after every game? Are you waiting until the end of the round robin or in the playoff games? You just don't always know, and different leagues do different things. No disrespect whatsoever by Coquitlam intended, as you can see, as they were immediately back out to shake hands.
Exactly, and that's, you know, Fayez. The way he coaches his team, it's all about
all respect for the game and the
game and your opponent
and
you
yourself.
Yeah, and of course yourself too. And they should be, you know, obviously they need to be disappointed with that game. Wasn't their best effort, but as you mentioned, you could tell the travel legs were there. They got out of it in the first, and let's be honest here, the Seneca team looks pretty strong, and I think they're going to be one of the top teams in this tourney.
That'll do it. We'll be back at 8:30 tonight for Mohawk Medicine Men and Elora Mohawks. I'm Stephen Stample with Pat Gregoire on behalf of the entire JVI crew. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you in an hour and a half.